What's going on, everyone? Austin John Placer, and today I'm going to be going over the Rito quest line and the temple involved with that in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Very obvious, there are going to be spoilers for this portion of the story since it is a guide on how to do this portion of the story. The game points you to go do this specific thing as soon as you start off, and I recommend doing this specific thing as soon as you start off because the ability that you get at the end is fantastic. If you've been following along and you decided to unlock all the towers with me, then you've probably made your way over to the Rito area and unlocked the Rospo Pass Skyview Tower. If not, don't worry, the game pointed you over to the New Serene Stable, and then you had your option if you wanted to take the southern path or the northern path, or if you just wanted to go straight across after unlocking the Linder's Brow Skyview Tower. Either way, you're going to make your way all the way over to the Lucky Clover Gazette, and then to Rito Village. If you have not made your way to Rito Village yet, there's the bridge, and the bridge is out. You could either climb up, or you could throw a Hylian Pine Cone at the campfire here and then glide across and then make your way over here. There's going to be a shrine called the Gatakis Shrine that you're going to need to make your way to. One of my favorite things, because now you're obviously much lower than you were before, as soon as you spawn in, you can just use Ascend on this platform here, and now you're up on the walking path. Love that stuff. While you're here, if you want to pick up some Rito clothing, absolutely go for it. Do I need it? Yes, I only have one piece of cold clothing. If you don't have enough rupees for this, you can use a ruby that you got from a rare ore patch, or if you found a fire Lizalfo, you can make yourself a fire weapon. I right here have a ruby sword, which is going to increase my cold resistance by making me warmer, or you can attach it to a shield. It's completely your choice. However, for completionist sake, I need to have all of the specific different clothings. First thing I do when I get a new set is I upgrade it with 3 Choo Choo Jelly for level 1 and then 5 Choo Choo Jelly and Warm Saflina for level 2. If you didn't know that there's a little trick that you can do in order to change over your type of Choo Choo Jelly, all you have to do is take out the Choo Choo Jelly from your inventory. I'm going to drop them on the floor. I'm going to use a fire-based weapon, and I'm going to shoot them with a fireball. That's going to convert them into red Choo Choo Jelly. Make sure to not actually make contact, otherwise you'll make them explode. And now that I have this level 3 cold resistance, I'm now unfreezable. Nice. Even though weirdly enough, you only need 2 levels of cold resistance. So the third one is just for unfreezable. Here inside of Rito Village, you're gonna be seeing 3 little Rito all hanging out. You wanna hear their song, and their song is gonna be telling you about airships from the ancient past, which is neat. The Stormwind Arc, that was it. Oh, I love the log, by the way. Being able to just hit a button, it's like, wait a second, I think I skipped something. After you listen to the birds sing their song, you are going to head up to the top and you're gonna be finding a familiar face.
There at all. You know I can handle it.
This is Tulin.
Is that you?
See, Tulin remembers you. You don't remember Tulin. Shame on you. Granted, he was just a little chick back then. I absolutely love Tulin so much. And here's Teba, you know, the champion descendant. He's now just called the Rito Elder. Tulin doesn't listen to Teba whatsoever and just kind of flies off. Something about mentioning a song. You're now tasked with following Tulin because he believes that it's real and the answer to solve the giant blizzard that's happening here in Rito. You're now instructed to just pretty much follow him. So we're gonna make our way to those 2 bonfires. Upon making your way to the 2 bonfires, they're telling you that there's a lodge inside, so let's head on inside. And Hearth is gonna be talking about the giant cloud in the sky. They said that they were on their way to the Herba South Summit Cave, which is northeast of here. Past the cliff out front and then up the mountain road, there should be a bonfire marking the spot. They are now tasking you with going northeast up Rospo Pass, and then you're going to be seeing this shrine right here, the Sahuro Shrine. And the reason this shrine is so visible from a distance is because the game has designed it that way. After you walk out of the shrine, you're going to see the bonfire, which is the entrance to the cave. So that's sort of how that game mechanic is designed, even though the bonfire is a little hard to see any other direction. And here's the South Herba Summit Cave. Following it through, you're going to be seeing this big old piece of ice. You're encouraged to just sort of jump on top of it. Making your way down, you're going to be finding a few ore deposits, some sticky lizards. Be sure to always get those guys down. If you're still in the early game and you're struggling for rupees, that means you're not exploring caves and wells enough. because the amount of gems, like I just got a sapphire from a regular one. The amount of gems that I've gotten, 37 opal, 97 amber, some topaz, sapphire, rubies. I think I have 2 diamonds so far. If you don't have gems like this, which you could sell off if you need, then you're not exploring caves and wells enough. Anytime that you're stuck down here, just use Ascend Out. Inside of this wind tunnel, there's going to be a path at the top. You're now going to be in this room that has a bonfire in the middle, and here you're encouraged to use the 2 flint that I just yoinked off of the ground. Use a metal-based weapon, and then you're going to throw a Hylian pine cone at it, creating a very large updraft for you. Now you're also going to be seeing this path in the distance, surrounded by a whole bunch of these icky bushes, and here is our Booble Frog. There's a few pebbles to take care of. They usually drop amber for you. And just keep heading through the cave. Once you make your way to the top, you're going to be finding Jasane over here. And Jasane is going to say that you need to continue out of the cave, and then there's going to be a lone cedar tree where Tulin went to go defeat some enemies back at their nest or something. It's actually not these enemies that you have to defeat or anything else. Instead, you need to make your way up to that one tree up there. Once you make your way to the cedar tree, you're going to be seeing Tulin. And that monster took his good bow. Is that the sparrow bow? I'm pretty sure that's the sparrow bow. Then you learn about Tulin's Power of Wind, which is going to be able to propel you forward while you're in air. You press it once to prepare it, and then a second time to activate it. All you need is 1 shot on that Arracuda, and you're good. Tulin in combat is fantastic because he'll just randomly start doing headshots on enemies, which is the reason I always recommend him first. Because, like, imagine facing a Lionel, and then just randomly he does headshots and you can climb on top. So helpful. There's then going to be some story beats that basically say, hey, Tulin, your dad's being overprotective. You should completely defy everything that he says and go on a very dangerous adventure to save all of our people because no one else is strong enough, except for you, you teenage bird. You're now tasked with going from where you are to the very, very top of this entire blizzard, up there. Ooh, a falcon bow. You should definitely keep at least one falcon or swallow bow, one of those bows, because they give you some excellent range. In order to make your way up there is going to be a lot of ascend and some jump mechanics, and I'm not going to make this video 6 hours long, so we're just going to cover all the trickier parts of this. All you need to know is keep going up. This entire path is going to take, I'd say, about an hour to 2 hours. Here at the base is going to be a small Zonai encampment that I've already cleared out, and also the makings of a perfectly good hot air balloon riser. So if you take a balloon, you put it on this 4x4, and then there's going to be a thick stick as well as some other sticks that you can grab. Take out a flame emitter, place it inside. There may be one nearby. I know there's one on a shield, but I think the Zonai actually fused it together, so I was unable to grab it. And then we're going to want to place it just like this. And if you place it right there, then when the flame emitter is off, it's still going to be on fire. So because of that, you're still going to be able to rise up. This should take you a good distance from 580 to higher. And as you're going up, you want to make sure that you turn off the machine before your battery is completely depleted. So like right now. And now because that's on fire, we're still maintaining altitude. In fact, very, very slightly increasing it. Unfortunately, my stick burned out, but I grabbed one from the ground, so that's able to maintain my altitude just as well. The game is designing you to make your way to that platform down there and then to ascend through, which is then going to bring you into this large labyrinth. If you didn't make the hot air balloon, but I made the hot air balloon. My balloon is pretty much about to run out, and that should be enough to bring me to the shrine up here. Thanks to Tulin's ability to gust forward, you can cross very large gaps of air so easily. Tulin's gonna leave you when you get too close to the shrine, This shrine is very simple, but it's mostly used to teach you the mechanics of how to ascend higher using these airships, which you're going to be doing a lot getting to the Rito temple. I now realize that by making my way to the shrine over here, I actually progressed a little too much because we need to fly over just a little bit so Tulin can have his interaction with his first airship. So if you went to the shrine like I did, it's just going to be a quick glide back. After Tulin has his first interaction, you then jump on the ship and continue upward. I'm so thankful that we unlocked that shrine. That's going to be your first checkpoint on the way to the temple. I'll be back with any other important things I see. That was not a safe one to jump through. Once you're heading out, remember Tulin's ability. It's pretty much mandatory to make your way between these different sky pillars that are just all floating here. Don't take the path lower, because that's not going to lead to anything good. Mark that shrine down there if you want. These large icicles over here, you can pair this with pretty much any weapon that you want, and it will serve as not only a modest increase of damage, but then whenever you're in a hot environment, it's actually going to act as sort of a cooling sword for you. So I definitely recommend picking up one for later. Oh, and when it comes to areas like this, you want to take a few of these blocks together, stack them up, and then once they're stacked up, you then want to ascend through it. And then once you reach this area, you're going to want to ascend again. Pre-release, some people had trouble with that exact thing quite a bit. Oh, and there's a flux construct here with a chest on him. Very nice. Well, I'm going to go make sure I take care of that. When he changes form, he's often going to drop the chest, and you could just take that time to then open it. Nice. That's our first old map of the game. After you defeat a flux construct, be sure to attach its core to one of your better weapons. If you have a Zonai weapon, you probably want to attach it to that for the bonus. Gotta love that icicle damage, right? Oh, thanks Tulin for taking care of that last hit. Once you've reached the area with the hot air balloons and made a hot air balloon, you're going to get to the point that now we're going to start gaining altitude very quickly. By using a variety of these airships to go up and up and up, yeah, we're going to be getting to the top much faster now. So we're just going to make our way over to that broken ice and then jump up and then make our way to that shrine back there, which is going to serve as our second checkpoint before we get to the Wind Temple. And this checkpoint shrine is just a blessing for getting up here. Thanks, Raru. After activating our second checkpoint shrine, we're now going to be ascending a lot faster. All of these airships are going to be moving around this giant storm. As you're going up, starting at the bottom, you're going to be seeing stationary airships on the outside. As soon as you hit your optimal height is when you want to double tap A in order for Tulin's forward gust. You can just land on the next airship because it recharges your stamina. And then you want to go against the wind whenever you see these airships, because going against the wind is going to get you to the next airship as close as possible. Thanks to Tulin's ability, you want to use it every single time it's fully recharged. So just pay attention to the current of the boats and go opposite of the current until we finally make our way to the top, which is just 2 more airships away. Very nice. And now we're finally above the storm, and from here, we're just gonna go ahead and dive inside of the storm. It's so calm up here. And here we go. This giant airship. Love that music. Welcome to the Wind Temple. Since the temples include that little build-up area, it's very reminiscent of Skyward Sword, how there's a section, and then after the section you actually get to the temple. The temples themselves, I would say they're halfway between like a traditional Zelda temple and a divine beast, because it's still going to require the same objective in several different areas. Like in this one, it's going to be activating wind turbines in order to bring these gears up. There's going to be a Zelda appearing and then disappearing, just like you've been seeing the whole game. Once you activate the hand statue, that's going to activate a fast travel point for you. You're then instructed with releasing the hatches in order to open up the center area. This middle area serves as giving you a little bit of height, which is nice. But first we're going to make our way forward, and right here is going to be our first lever that we can pull. And then opposite of it, if we grab this icicle here, be sure to not have a fire weapon attached because that will melt the icicle. You want to rotate it on a 45-degree angle and attach it there. And then you're able to pull this lever. Inside of here is going to be the first wind turbine that you need. Once Tulin makes his way over, grab him for his ability and just use it facing into the turbine. Inside of the first room that we open is a Zonai Captain. Be sure to take him out because his drop is pretty nice. Construct 2 horns. And there's a chest with an opal. Crush some boxes for some arrows. Our next lock is going to require us to make our way off of the boat. So if you're facing the north, I head to the left. And then heading to the left, there's going to be 2 doors. The door on the right is going to be locked, and the door on the left is going to be open. Keep in mind, you can snipe the Aracudas while in the air, and then you get their drops as long as you're still in the air. There they are. There's a laser grid, and behind the laser grid is a ruby, so if you need another fire wand, there you go. Careful not to fall to your death. You can use the airboats or the wings of the airship to get back up. Once you reach this area, we're actually going to need to be here twice. So first we're going to use Tulin to push us forward, that way we don't have to climb up the ice, which then brings us to a room with a captain. Try to grab the ruby before he confused with it, and then you get to keep yourself a ruby, which is also very nice. Oh, he just got 3 headshots. Good job, kid. Oh, and that was a Captain 2 horn. That's now my strongest horn I have. When you're inside of here, it's your option if you want to use your Ultra Hand to put these pieces of floor back together, or if you head over to the wall, you could just ascend upward, which I didn't realize my first time. Once you're up here from the hole, we're going to make 2 lefts, and that's going to be bringing us to right here. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if there's like an official way that the game is designing you to do this, but what I do is I just put something attached to the bottom, and I spin this around clockwise, and then I use my recall ability on it to have it rewind the motion, which then allows me up. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, but that's the way that I do it, and it works, so there you go. Tulin, you want to gust this for me? We're now going to retrace our steps back to where we just were, back over the left side of the boat. And then remember this area that we just gusted over before? Well, now we're going to drop down. And if you failed gusting over, maybe you already dropped down. And down here is going to be a very visible turbine for us. Let's just hit him off of the boat. Thank you, sir. And gust into the turbine. The next lock that we're going to release requires us to come back to the wind in the middle, take it up as high as possible on top of this structure to the north. Use your Ultra Hand to open up the latch. And hop inside. Be sure to not hit the laser grid as you make your way down. And we're going to be landing on this platform here, which has a turbine. Opposite of us, a little bit lower, is going to be a chest. So if you want to get that, go for it. Tulin, need you, buddy. And we have just 1 remaining. For our third and final, if you fast travel back to the top and you're facing north, we're going to be going off of the right side of the boat. Similar to how we went off the left side of the boat before, there's going to be 2 doors. One of them is going to be locked, and one of them is just going to have some icicles on it. We're going to make our way to the icicle one. You might be able to squeeze your way through. If not, just bang on the icicles and you're good. Now, if you want this chest over here, make sure you do not have a fire-based weapon equipped. Shoot down those 2 icicles. We're going to attach them together, and then we're going to use them as a big poking prod to go through this little hole. Push it further. We're going to attach it to the chest. While it's in here, be sure to rotate it so that the chest is upright so that it could fit through the hole. There's a nice sapphire in there. Now, if we turn around, there's going to be this large spinning thing. It's spinning thing. That's what I'm going with. Stick it with it. Take care of the construct who's going to be blocking your path. Feel free to grab this lever, open it up, which is then going to open up the gate. There's one on the other side. I just don't really have a reason to do them. And now, in the same way that we shot down those icicles to use as utility, we're going to be doing that once again. Make sure you do not have a fire weapon equipped, otherwise they will melt. Oh, it turns out you only needed one. Okay. Detach. Now we're going to go ahead and attach it. Make sure that they are somewhat lined up, otherwise the icicle is going to break off. And that's going to open up our door and our final turbine. Come on, kid. That is our 6th and final turbine that we needed to activate for the gears. Let's just fast travel back up to the top. Right now we're about to face the boss, which in my opinion is one of the most fun and easiest bosses. So if you want to give it a go on your own, go for it. If you need some help, then feel free to continue watching if you want to know what you're getting yourself into. But if you've made it this far in the video, definitely hit that like button. That lets me know that you want the additional temples that are in the game, and then I'll be covering those as well. Great. This is Colgera, or Colgera. Oh, I get it, because it's cold. Cool. There is 2 ways to defeat Colgera. One of them requires arrows, one of them requires literally nothing at all. If you remain above Colgera, it's going to be shooting these icicles up at you, which is somewhat easy to avoid. And then you just need to make your way through its body. It's going to then be upset. The other way to defeat Colgera is to shoot the icicles under its belly right here. You're going to need 1 or 2 to crack it, and then hit the snowflake on the inside. Also, if you still have your falcon bow from earlier, be sure to use that, as the falcon bow actually has a longer range. Colgera is now going to be coming up from the bottom. You just want to slowly drift out of the way, and now's your second opportunity to get shots at its tummy crystals. He's going to be really upset at that point. And he's going to come back out of his portal, and now he has more crystals. Part 2 of this fight is exactly the same, except now there's hurricanes or tornadoes to deal with. I don't know, I live in New Jersey. We don't have either of those things. Can I reach these crystals? Oh, I could definitely reach this top one, right? Yeah, but it was a little far. Oh! Great, that's 1.
Nice one.
Oh! Can't believe one of those hit. And after completing your 3rd crystal during the 2nd phase, you're now done with the boss. Like I said, easiest and most fun. Colgera is now complete. You're going to be getting Tulin's ability as a sage to help you out and help you gust forward through the air anytime that you want, which you can turn on and off via the key items menu. I'm not going to be covering the story beats that are going to be in this video. If you're playing along, then you're going to discover it for yourself. I don't want to ruin that for you. Also, there's a heart container here. That's the reason I've just been increasing my stamina, because that's going to be my 5th heart. And to be honest with you, at this point is a fantastic time to start exploring the Sky Islands, and then I kind of hold off on going to my 2nd sage. And if you were to choose a 2nd sage, I would definitely recommend going to Goron City and doing the Goron quest line, as the Goron ability is very helpful. Well, great. Guys, if you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, turning on notifications. Until next time, Austin John out.